For our last Get Practical with session of the afternoon, we'll be joined by Precilia from Connected Places Catapult. She'll be talking about innovation procurement. Introducing innovation in the public sector isn't as hard as you probably think. Do you know how to get started on tackling the procurement problem? If you ask pioneering place leaders what is stopping them from harnessing the creativity of the market to solve their pressing service and policy challenges, you will get the same answer. Procurement policy doesn't allow it. CPC has found, however, that the challenge lies less with the procurement policy itself than with how the process is conceived. Precilia will share some insights on how to change procurement processes to solve this hurdle. Over to you, Precilia. Nice to see you.
Thanks a lot, Jenny. Nice to see you as well. So let me share my screen now. And good afternoon, everyone. As Jenny introduced me, I am Precilia Godart. I'm Global Partnerships Officer at Connected Places Catapult. I would like to thank you all for joining me today for this Get Practical session on the commissioning of innovation procurement. I also would like to extend a thank you to Open Energized Smart Cities Network for inviting me today. So please make yourself comfortable and enjoy the session. So I would like to start firstly with a few words on Connected Places Catapult. We are the UK Innovation Agency for cities, transport, and places. And our aim is to encourage the adoption of innovation, drive growth, and improve the way people live, work, and travel. Connected Places Catapult is also one of the founding members of the Open Energized Smart Cities Network, and we currently sit on the board. So we are very, very pleased to be to join you today to the City by City Festival. So very recently, together with Open Energized Smart Cities Network, we have launched our first online training on the topic of innovation procurement. So this session is essentially an overview, a summary of the content of this training that you can find on the City by City e-learning platform. So this training is really based on our experience in the market and the content that we have generated from the project we have delivered all over the world. So whether you are a city practitioner or commissioner, I hope that this session today will answer some of your questions on the topic of innovation procurement and give you very practical tips as of how to procure innovative solutions. This module provides an introduction to the commissioning of innovation procurement based on best practices that we have recognized on the market. So through this short training, I intend to give you a clear definition of what innovation procurement is and how to practice it through a step-by-step process. Now, this training was designed to be valuable no matter where a city is at in their innovation journey, and most importantly, independently of the political environment. So that could be really applicable to any profile of cities all over the world. So I will cover 3 sections today. I will give you a definition of innovation procurement. What are the benefits and barriers to procure innovation? Then define the challenge-led procurement and how to conduct it. And lastly, give tips on how to engage the market efficiently to maximize the success of conducting a challenge-led procurement process. So at this point, it is worth to say that I will be guiding you through a journey, which is a step-by-step process, but in practice, the process might not be as sequential as I will present it today. So let's now jump on this hot topic. So what are the benefits of innovation? Innovation procurement is really key to ensure that improved services are delivered while securing better value for money. This is even more important when we know that the public sector spent a huge amount in procurement, on average 12% of the GDP. So it also stimulates the growth of innovative industry in the city or region, increase the supply chain resilience, and have a positive impact on social values. To name a few, improving health and the well-being of citizens, tackling economic inequality, fighting climate change, reducing waste, or driving equal opportunities. So why is innovation important to the public sector? Well, we know that the future of cities can be uncertain, especially in the circumstances we are today. And a lot of pressure is placed on cities to be resilient and respond to a rapidly changing needs. So to continue serving communities efficiently, innovation should be user-centered, designed with the needs of user in mind, should be design-led, design thinking beyond current processes and procedures. It should be data-driven, design using evidence in real-world environment, and open, encouraging free exchange of ideas and information. So this slide is a reflection slide. The idea here is to encourage you all to think about why innovation is important in your own context. I believe that this presentation will be made available to you after the session. So this is really for you to take away and think about how this adapts to your own context if you were to apply those principles. Now, what are the barriers to innovation? So many public bodies have difficulty in engaging with innovators, with the innovator ecosystem, and translating ideas into cutting-edge products and services. To us, three of the main barriers to innovation is that innovation requires a strong leadership to overcome the fear of change. The culture and risk perception can slow down procurement processes, and also the complexity of buying and selling to the public sector, which can be addressed with capacity building. However, it is indeed a barrier to procuring innovation. So again, another reflection slide. I encourage you to reflect on the type of barriers you have experienced in your own context when trying to encourage new approaches to innovation within your organization. Here, I put down some ideas such as understanding user needs or organizational risk aversion. Now, let's take a look at innovation procurement and focus on the steps to incorporate it in an organization. So innovation procurement takes many different approaches. Not all of these involve going into the market and source a solution. Commissioners also need to consider whether user needs can be met through existing solutions on the market. So where outsourcing, it is most beneficial, the most beneficial approach that we think can be applied here is two separate methods. The specification-based procurement, which is a relevant approach when purchasing mature products and services. So this can be an effective method to drive cost efficiency, as we will encourage suppliers to compete on price. When new products and services are required, a challenge-led approach, a challenge-led procurement approach can provide a better driver for innovation. It differs from the previous one by posing a challenge as an open question. And this is the approach we will be focusing on in the next session. in the next slide, sorry. So a challenge-led approach provides much more flexibility in design for innovators. You can ask them to explain and demonstrate the solution that addresses needs and generates the outcome that you have identified. Additional benefits include reducing bias towards certain product and suppliers, the possibility to include wider impact that you're trying to achieve, such as social, environmental, or economic impacts. So altogether, a challenge-led approach leads to a more collaborative solution definition between commissioners, users, and suppliers. This slide shows you what a challenge-led approach entails with a step-by-step process. So firstly, define your challenges. This should describe in a very simple manner the problem that you are facing. For example, how to address, how to implement real-time monitoring of air quality in a city. Once your challenge is defined, it should be published openly for any organizations to respond to. You may get responses from companies with a product ready to go or a startup with brand new ideas. So you should be able to be open to any ideas. Then the applications should be assessed and a short list of the best concepts selected. And the leading proposal enter development or trial stage where the effectiveness of this solution is assessed. Sometimes this phase comes with a program to ensure that businesses are capable of converting a solution in a commercially viable solution. Ideally, after this phase, the procurement mechanism should permit the purchase of the solution. And in the next few slides, we are going to focus on different activities that you need to undertake to start a challenge-led process in the most effective way. So understanding user needs is core. The procurement of a solution will address the needs of citizens or local businesses. It could address employees of public bodies' needs and so on. So developing a detailed understanding of who your users are, their needs, and the problem that you are aiming to solve is at core of the effective design of any innovative product or service. And it is essential to deliver an impactful challenge-led procurement. Undertaking research on the needs of users also allows to test ideas that you may have had about your users and confirms whether there is a valid need for a solution that you want to procure. A lot of solutions sometimes that are procured do not consider all different user needs and can go to loss. So conducting user research means finding out really what people are really trying to do with the solution. Therefore, engaging with your users as early as possible in the process is really important. It's also key to build a relationship, an efficient relationship that will allow you to have a genuine and open feedback on an innovative solution that you are trialing. Some suggestion of how gathering users' need can be done is through interviews or focus group, observation activities, or analysis of existing data. So once you understand the user's needs, the next step is to consider what impact you would like your procurement activity to have. This involves defining the outcomes you wish to create. These outcomes can be anything that matters to you and your users, but should be really specific and measurable to be able to assess success of the implementation of this new solution. So think about your user needs, also consider the strategic outcomes that your organization is looking to deliver, and how this can be a link to the unmet needs that you have identified. Next is another reflection slide that I will let you consider at your own pace, but this is giving you some guidelines to help define a clear challenge statement that will have the impact desired. Finally, market engagement. So once you have understood the needs of your users and created your challenge statement, it's important to gain an understanding of market capabilities. So pre-market engagement relates to activities to understand what are the market capabilities before the publication of a tender. The aim is to assess the appetite and capability of the market to respond to your challenge. So essentially understanding if your market have capacity, have talents that will be able to think about the solution to address your needs. And it also helps refining the planning of the challenge-led procurement approach and determine the best procurement strategy according to your own market. This slide shows you a few ideas on how to conduct market engagement. So industry days and supplier workshops can be an idea, questionnaires, direct approach to individual market players, consulting experts, or informal engagement with existing clients can really help you understand the offer, the current offer in the market. So once you have conducted pre-market engagement and gained an understanding of the market capacity, it's important to consider how you will proceed. For example, have you identified potential solutions for your challenge? Are these solutions established and well used at that moment? How a trial might look like if the solution doesn't exist yet? And finally, what would happen next if the trial is successful? So this approach is essentially also allows you to think about what strategy you are keen to implement. There are two main approaches to the procurement of innovation. The first approach is pre-commercial procurement. This can be used when there are no solutions available in the market yet, and research and development is needed. This allows commissioners or city practitioners to de-risk the most promising innovation through a process of solution design, prototyping, development, and testing. The second approach is public procurement of innovative solutions, and this is used when challenges can be addressed by innovative solutions that are very close to the market or already available in small quantities. And essentially, with this approach, no research and development is needed. And the challenge procurement process that I just described to you can be used in both cases. So now that I have gone through the training, the theory around the training, I would like to showcase how the method presented to you right now has been used in a project that we have conducted with Belfast City Council. So we'll stop sharing now, and you will see two short videos that present this case study. Rina, I will stop sharing now. Grateful if you can share the videos. Thank you very much.
Belfast City Council gets more than half of their annual revenue from business rates. However, The city has a constantly changing business community. This means that it can be challenging to maintain an up-to-date register of businesses which can inform the timely and accurate collection of business rates income. Initially, Belfast City Council tried to identify solutions that were already on the market, which could help boost revenue from rate-paying businesses, but to no avail. Instead, they looked to launch a competition to attract new suppliers. The first thing that Belfast needed to do before engaging the market was to define the problem that they were trying to solve. Connected Places Catapult helped to apply an objective, human-centered approach to this exercise in order to encourage creative solutions without overly defining the eventual solution. This left room for innovation. In defining the challenge, they focused on what outcomes they wanted to achieve, rather than defining how they wanted to achieve them. These outcomes included identifying occupancy status of a non-domestic property, ensuring that all properties required to pay rates have been identified, identifying the function or use of a non-domestic property, identifying the occupant of a non-domestic property, and expediting the issuing of bills to new properties. Belfast City Council applied for £100,000 of funding from the Department for the Economy to bring forward the development of a timely, accurate, and cost-effective solution which could be implemented to maximise business rate revenue for the city. The council contributed a further £50,000 to the funding. During the final 2-week evaluation period, the two companies identified an initial £500,000 of previously uncollected business rates. Subsequent use of the winning solution has since revealed still more previously unrealized revenue, which is now being used to deliver local services. In addition to demonstrating to Belfast City Council the value of taking a challenge-led approach to procurement, this process also gave SMEs a valuable opportunity to innovate and commercialize ideas in a real-world environment. Since undertaking this process, Belfast City Council have not only moved to procure a rates maximization solution, but they've expanded their use of challenge-led procurement by creating the Smart Belfast framework. This allows them to regularly publish information about problems that they're looking for the market to solve.
Thanks a lot, Rina. I will share my last slide now. So thank you very much for inviting me today and for attending this session. You will see on this slide a few links regarding the different material that we have used to develop this online training. So if you wanted to go more in depth in the topic of innovation procurement, please feel free to check those links. I have also added a direct link to the full course that is currently available on the City by City e-learning platform. And I am obviously at your disposal if you have any questions after the session. So thank you very much for inviting me. And Jenny, over to you.
Thank you, Precilia. Looking forward to developing more courses with you. There is a question addressed to you, and it goes like this. You stated a number of things, that the design should be user-centric, driven by design thinking, data-driven, etc., etc. Are these requirements scientifically proven, driven by trends, or do they come from another source?
So as I mentioned earlier, this content, all this content that we have shared and those different processes have been gathered through different projects that we have conducted on the topic of innovation procurement. This very scheme and process that we have presented here has been tested, especially with the CIFTech Alliance, which is an organization from Scotland, who we've been working very closely. So this is something that we have already applied in some of our projects. So I hope this answer the questions. So it's really experience, based on experience.
So to learn more about innovation procurement, I'd like to invite everyone to check out the City by City Academy. All courses are free, and we're looking forward to developing more courses with Connected Places Catapult and other partners. I guess that brings the day to a close. Martin, if you join me.
I will. Thank you, Precilia. Thank you, everyone, for being with us throughout the day. Of course, we would have liked to meet you in person. Normally, the annual OASC event is a very social thing. You come together, you go outside the auditorium, you mingle, you have a snack, and you realize you're not alone. All these logos actually have real people behind them. We cannot do that the way we usually are. We will be convening here in a moment for the dinner for those who are physically in Brussels, but we will all be cheering for you and thinking of you.
So thanks again to everyone who's joined the C by C22 Festival. We'll meet you again tomorrow at 9. And please don't hesitate to get in touch if there's anything we can help you with. So thanks to the team as well. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.